My name is Mkhululi Zandile Mabija, and I'm from Kimberley, and I'm a librettist, which means I do the words for operas and musicals. Yes, the journey started a long time ago in Kimberley, but when I was younger, when I used to read stories, everything was musical to me. I read everything in music, and I didn't understand what it was, and until like you see animation, and I remember when the Disney stuff started coming out big time, and it was also the movie Sarafina, where it started making sense to me that the stories are told musically. So that's where my journey started, when I started understanding that all these stories that I wanted to tell are musical stories. And the canon in which these all fall in is in musical theater or opera. So that's where it started, and I was lucky enough that I went to a boys' school called Kimberley Boys Eye, and their focus was really culture, academics, and sports. And you had to do obviously all three, and they did one big musical each year. And I was fortunate enough to really get honed into the music part there. And then after that, yeah, I came to Tshwane University of Technology for my undergrad. I realized there was a lack in black stories, and I wanted to then started just writing black stories. Then I saw that there was only one place in the world that offered how to write musicals, and that was New York University, at Tisch School of the Arts. I applied, I got in, and yeah, the rest is history. It was heaven at Tisch, in a sense where all the professors were working professionals. So everybody just really was on the brink in the industry, telling you what's happening. So that was a remarkable time for my development. Yeah. I do a lot of community work as well as big professional work. So with the community work, I've opened up this academy, musical theater academy in Kimberley called Amandla Danza Teatro. We take the kids in after school. We've got a staff of 12 and 6 days a week, and it's for free for the kids of the township. We don't charge them. We get funding other places for the teachers and for ourselves. And yeah, we teach them how to play brass instruments, percussion, sing, dance, and act. So that's the community work that I do. Professionally, I've worked with, I've had, my last show opened up at Berkeley Rep in California in September. That show's called Goddess, and that's hopefully my first show on Broadway, as it's heading to the East Coast next. And then I'm working with Zwei Bala. We're working on our second musical. I've worked with the Blackjacks, Bokani Daya. Yeah, I've written with a lot of interesting and wonderful composers, each very different, but and worked with fabulous choreographers and directors. So yeah, it's been quite a roller coaster. Joburg is like a mini New York for me. There's an energy from people, energy from the city, energy that needs to be uncovered and discovered, and energy of evolution that I like about the space. It's never stagnant. It's forever young, forever green. So there's a beauty and energy that I love about Johannesburg that doesn't. It gets a bad rep, but it's actually a very. I don't understand why, but it's actually a very innovative city. It's just like it's very innovative. I would put it up there with London and a New York, and even a Lagos. There's an energy bubbling, so it makes sense that you just want to create more because everybody's creating and doing more. No one is stagnant in the city. JIAS is interesting because I think the fact that JIAS is also obviously connected to UJ, which is such a forward-thinking university. Uh, I'm not surprised by the personalities that are here, because UJ has just overtook so many universities that were just stuck in their ways, you know, innovation-wise, technology-wise, and everything. So JIAS being part of that, is being an offspring of that, is really exciting because anything can pop, anything can happen, and that's the beauty of the space too, which just allows you to not just fall into that rhetoric of what came before, what has happened, what should happen, you know. It's just like anything can happen, and that's the exciting part of being here at JIAS. So I and I are writing our second musical, Nkwenkwezi. Um, we did our first musical, Tsotsi, which was an adaptation of Ethel Fugard's novel, which premiered at Artscape 2018 with Zulu Boy as the lead there. But obviously, because of COVID, the show never carried on, but we're trying to get into new spaces. Nkwenkwezi is a sung-through musical. It follows the journey of two protagonists, Nkonjane, a young musical protege, and Bonginkosi, a young boy who has a traditional calling, healing calling. But these paths cross in a very interesting way. They don't know of each other, but we follow their story from before they were even born. The conference their ancestors had together, not knowing that their paths will cross one day, and how they will help each other in the future. So we're really taking it from before into the after and playing with different realms of life in terms of just playing with that spiritual realm, playing with this realm of where we're at, and also making this, putting music being the binding force of all of that, and also being in Africa, that there is no coincidence in Africa, you know. So really getting into that chain of thought, and really also cementing that there's a reason why we have these different callings. They were given to us way before we were even born. And we need to just fulfill and see it through, because these are the gifts of our ancestors. So yeah, so these are just, this is a beautiful story that we're trying to tell. Really changing the face, not necessarily changing the face, but really putting a new story out there in the African musical theater. Yeah, it's an exciting piece. Yeah.